it's time for our monthly visit from Sandi Sawchuck from the UW School of Veterinary Medicine.
If you have a question for Sandi, call now at 270-9933. And we were
Good to see you.
talking before we went on the air here. You were at a dermatology conference over the weekend.
I was, and it was marvelous. I mean, I always try to pick something that I could use some refresher. And one of the things that they were talking about is because there are so many dogs, they estimate now about 1 in 3 dogs has some form of allergies. And it's, you know, there's a lot of theories as to why, but the same thing's happening in the human world as well. But what we're finding is that just like in the human world with having resistant bacteria, we're seeing the same thing with dogs as well, with like MRSA in people and MRSI in dogs. And so the push is to treat more topically. And you're probably not going to like to hear what I have to say, but it's more frequent bathing, at least a couple of times a week. But the big thing is wiping the dog down when they come in from outside. And there's a wipe called a Nisin wipe, N-I-S-I-N, that are not prescription, but they're excellent for when you've got a dog with seasonal allergies, wiping down their feet, their underside, and so on, to get rid of those pollens and irritants on their body. And it really seems to help them a lot.
Can you buy them at pet stores?
You can buy them online, just through like farm supply places. I mean, we carry them at the vet school, but they're a non-prescription item. So,
all right.
Great idea.
Let's get to the phones. We'll start with Jane in Stoughton. Hi, Jane.
Hi.
I have a question.
I have 2 small dogs, and they get those tear stains on their face, and I'm wondering, do you recommend any natural product for that, or maybe you don't recommend any at all?
Well, the reason I get concerned about tear staining is why is there staining to begin with? If they've got extra hair around their face, it's rubbing on their eyes, plugged tear ducts, an eye infection, something that's causing more tearing, that needs to be addressed, first of all. And then after you've addressed any problems, really the staining is purely cosmetic. There's a chemical in the tears called porphyrins, and porphyrin, when it's exposed to light, will turn that kind of rusty brown color. And it really is just a cosmetic problem. But there are some things that you can do. Believe it or not, there's some probiotics out there which are healthy bacteria that we feed the dogs, and we've been seeing a lot of dogs getting better. There's one that the IMS company makes called Prostora, and I've had some dogs do really well with going on that. But there's also lots of different powders and things that you can use that are going to help bleach the hair. You have to be careful that you don't get it in the eye, and that would be something you can talk to your veterinarian about. I happen to like a product called Envy, like eyeball Envy, and you can buy it online. I've used it in my own bulldogs when I was trying to make them look better, but you know, it's like I gave up. Nothing's going to help them. Yeah.
All right, so check with your vet.
All right, let's go to Jolynn in Mount Horeb. Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, we have an Australian Shepherd that's 12 and a half, and she's never had a problem before with sleeping, but now she suddenly has started to snore a lot. I wondered if that was just aging or if it was something to be concerned about.
Well, you know, I never used to snore when I was younger. At least I was never told I did, and now I do. So it may be age-related, especially if she's gained a lot of weight or anything. But I think it's always a good idea to have it looked into because there are some respiratory problems, nasal tumors, problems with like the back of their throat, their larynx, where they get laryngeal paralysis and they can run into troubles with that. And so if the snoring is accompanied by either a voice change or more coughing or anything that's abnormal, that really should be looked into. And if they don't find anything, you can always do what I do, you know, just earplugs, or you get up and you go to the spare bedroom when the dogs are snoring. Yeah.
I know about snoring dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe you just live with somebody who's honest for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
That's how you found out you're snoring now.
Yeah. All
right, Bill in Boston, go ahead.
Hi, I have a question. I have a South African Gray. It was hand-raised by someone else. He's almost 20 years old. Now, he had always clipped both wings, and my experience when I used to have other birds, we'd only have to clip one wing.
Yeah. And it may be that because this is, I'm not sure what kind of birds you had before, but anytime you've got a bird that's very strong like that, if you only trim one wing, they may get that urge to still try to take off. And now you've got a bird that's going to be attempting to fly and maybe getting into trouble. I have an Illiger's macaw at home who's a little bit smaller than what you're describing with your bird, but I trim both sides, and I just find it's a little bit safer to have both sides done. He's less likely to want to take off out of the cage. I should bring him in here for a
Yeah,
visit
I would
sometime.
love that.
Yeah.
We'll do that next
Yeah.
time. Okay, let's go to Lauren in Janesville. Hi, Lauren. What's your question?
Hi, I have a male rabbit who, whenever it sees other rabbits, it pees all over.
Oh my goodness.
And I wanted to know if I neuter it, if it will stop doing that.
Very likely, and it's very possible that he is just being a male rabbit, and it's like a male dog lifting his leg on things because they smell other dogs and so on. So getting him in to be neutered, I think, would be a great idea. It's probably going to make him a better pet for you. He's going to be friendlier and easier to be around, and it's very standard to spay and neuter rabbits now.
That's a first, that question.
Yeah, it
I don't
is.
think in all these years.
I know. We don't
Oh,
get
it's a
too
good
many bird
question.
and rabbit questions on the same show.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right. Well, we are out of time. We will see you next time, Sandy.
All
Thanks,
right.
Sandy.
Good job
Thanks
as
for your
usual.
calls, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.